I've never seen anyone as resourceful in the wild. While others are thrilled with berry picking, he's already grilling fish. So, is that beer next to him for real? He even made that table himself. His craftsmanship is truly impressive. He's not just surviving, he's practically on a wilderness vacation. It's day 17 of the Alone in the Wilderness Challenge. Only 4 contestants remain. Today is John's daughter's birthday and he can't be with her. He's feeling a bit down, especially thinking about all the delicious food they'll have without him. His daughter is supportive and hopes he wins the prize money to celebrate. John, with fish and beer, plans to celebrate a bit himself. With fish and beer on hand, he's living quite comfortably. It's time to go out and gather some berries. Rune isn't feeling great. The weather is getting worse and there are fewer opportunities to go out to sea. This means he might have to go hungry again. There's still a lot to handle, and he's feeling increasingly exhausted. Last night, he made a tool for collecting berries. The principle is simple. Use these cuts to get the berries down. But it's not as handy as picking by hand and might be better for storage. Plus, relying solely on berries for a meal is tough. Even if he gathers all the berries nearby, it wouldn't make a full meal. Keeping busy with handiwork helps him avoid overthinking. The finished product looks pretty good, but who knows how well it will work. Alan is in a decent mood. The first thing he does every morning is run to the shore, hoping to catch some fish, but reality is harsh. He hasn't caught a single fish, and his mood plummets. In this cold weather, some chili to cook the fish would be great. He tries his luck elsewhere but finds nothing. It looks like berries are the only option today. As the weather cools, fish become scarce along the coast, and he can't go into deeper waters. He can only hope for a school of fish to come by. While collecting materials, John's father found 2 pieces of wood. He thought about processing them. Maybe he could put together a small table. First, he had to remove all the nails. Finding a key in the wild was incredibly lucky. He could use it in various ways. He cut and stacked the wood, and soon the small table was done. It fit perfectly inside the shelter, allowing him to sit and enjoy the view outside. However, John's mood wasn't great. He missed his daughter's birthday even more and wondered how many contestants were left. He hoped everyone would leave soon, so he could win the prize money and return to his daughter. Meanwhile, Rune was gathering berries with his new tool. The efficiency had greatly improved. While some berries got damaged, it wasn't a major problem. In no time, he had collected a full box. Eating these would help regain some strength. If he had some honey, he would make a jam to store for longer. He had almost exhausted the nearby nuts. So hunger wasn't a concern for now, and his mood kept improving. He just wondered if he could catch some fish today. The more John looked at the family photo, the worse he felt. I was afraid he might say he wanted to go home next. There wasn't much to do, and staying in the shelter was dull. He hoped the show would air his birthday wishes to his daughter. To show he remembered, he could now enjoy grilled fish and beer, and life was improving for everyone. If I hadn't seen John find the beer on the shore, I think the show gave it to him. And I must admit, chopsticks are super handy for survival. Picking things up was easy. As long as John stayed composed, he had a strong chance of winning. Everything was going well. How long they'd remain in the wild depended on the other contestants' endurance. After eating, John could relax under the starry sky, feeling a bit tipsy. He was very grateful for his family's support and hoped to go home soon to celebrate together. The challenge had reached day 18. Alan woke to the sound of deer just 5 meters from his shelter, but he didn't have his bow and arrow. And the area was covered by trees. Seeing the deer so close meant something good might happen today, if possible. He really wanted to eat some venison. Just a bite would be satisfying. Seeing the deer, Alan's mood improved significantly. He felt confident about today. He wondered if they would come back tomorrow. In the morning, they were still near the shelter. Alan thought he was hallucinating. I was curious if he could successfully hunt the deer if he had a knife. After the excitement, he realized he wasn't wearing pants, which explained the chill. Alan kept talking to the camera. If he had been wearing pants, I bet he could have talked all morning. Rune wasn't as lucky to get food. He intended to venture into the deep waters, braving the waves and risking being swept away. It was a bold move. If he fell in, he'd have to quit. He paddled the raft with all his strength. The relentless waves made it tough. Rune had to balance carefully and inch his way to the fishing net. After spending a lot of time and energy, he finally got there, hoping to catch more fish. However, after all that effort, he only managed to get a small fish. He felt really down. If the weather didn't improve, his raft and fishing net would be useless. Fishing wasn't yielding much. Gathering nearby berries seemed wiser. Hopefully, the others would quit early, so he could claim the prize money and finally rest. Meanwhile, Christine faced relentless waves crashing against the shore. He worried the fishing net might be full of trash instead of fish, but fretting wouldn't help now. He needed to check it out quickly. Christine felt the waves were really strong here. Her survival skills were decent. She had constructed an ideal shelter and noticed deer dogs nearby. Despite her desire to fully embrace the wilderness, her longing for her family grew stronger. She didn't know how much longer she could hold on. She kept herself busy to ease the homesickness. Only when living alone in the wild did she realize how important family companionship was. Seeing Christine in this state, it looked like she might quit any moment. The crew should be ready. John didn't feel like going out today. He just wanted to stay in the shelter and keep warm. He felt quite lost about wilderness survival now. He didn't know what to do next or what he could do. He seemed to have lost all enthusiasm. But then again, if I were like him, with food, drink, and a warm shelter, I could just lie down until the challenge ended. Repeating the same tasks every day can indeed be frustrating, let alone being alone in the wild. Anyway, food still needed to be stocked up. Let's see what he caught today. John wasn't picky about the fishing net, just set it up randomly. Surprisingly, he always caught enough fish that he had to smoke them for preservation. No wonder he had time to daydream. If the other contestants found out, they'd be cursing in frustration. How does John catch fish so effortlessly? I really think the showrunners gave John a prime spot. Any other contestant would probably be just as successful. It's so frustrating to see John eating fish every day. I wish they could mix up the food a bit. After a long day, I don't feel satisfied at all. Instead, I feel even emptier inside. If I didn't know he was here for a wilderness survival challenge, I'd think I was watching the wrong show. Others are struggling to survive in the wild, but he's truly savoring his solo time in the wild. Meanwhile, Alan is preoccupied with finding food and uses his free moments to try and make something. It's nothing like John's comfortable setup. John is planning to put a board outside to make his shelter look cozier. Although it makes me hungrier, it's still quite rewarding mentally. Later, I just need to string up some ropes on both sides. When the time comes, I can hang it anywhere. I'll carve a flat surface and engrave it, feeling like I'm improving at this craft. After some busy work, soon, he carved his name and planned to fill it with blueberry juice. Thankfully, no bears were nearby. Otherwise, the bears would have caught the scent and invaded the shelter for a feast. The final product looks great and has a strong blueberry aroma. I feel a lot more energized. I should definitely take this home. It would be a perfect front door sign. Alan's spirits were lifting. Rune enjoyed daily fish stewed with ginger fruit, which smelled delicious. It was tangy, sweet, and very appetizing. The more he ate, the hungrier he got. The small fish just weren't enough anymore. I need to gather more food. I don't know how many contestants remain. I'll just take it day by day. Jiangjing likely won't last long. I want to test my limits. Each day, I'm either checking or setting up fish nets. Setting up fish nets and gathering ginger fruits when there are no fish. Life on the 3.1 line is very monotonous. Talking to the camera every day is his only way to vent his emotions, aiming to stay here for a month. When he returns, he can boast about it. Hopefully, the weather will get better, making it easier to check the fishing nets. Christine's mental state is really poor. The fishing nets are likely tangled with branches and debris. I wonder if that will impact the fish catch. The only thing to do now is to check the fishing net, but there's nothing in it, not even a branch. He suspects the nearby trash has drifted away. To stave off hunger, he resorts to boiling and eating tree leaves. This eases his stomach pain. With winter nearing and food becoming scarce, he eats all the edible plants he can find. He's worried about being hungry every day and doubts how long he can last. I wonder what these things taste like. Christine feels incredibly hungry, thinking she could eat 10 fish in one go. After cleaning the tree bark, the inside tastes fresher, like eating spicy strips. I wonder if the other contestants will eat it too. He can barely swallow it, but eating too much is bad for digestion. If possible, fish would taste much better. He hopes to catch some fish tomorrow. It's the 19th day, and John notes that today is his wedding anniversary. He typically makes something special for his wife, but this time, he's unsure and feels melancholic. If he wins the prize, he wants to take his wife on a trip. Does anyone have any recommendations? Rune is unsure how to spend his afternoon, so he relaxes by the fire outside. He relaxes completely, enjoying the scenery while thinking about how to stay longer. Food is very unstable. He doesn't know what to do. John cleans and organizes the fishing net every day, believing it's crucial to catch fish. He wonders if the show could help with some technical support. Even in the wilderness, he wants his wife to feel his love. He feels he came at the wrong time. It's either his daughter's birthday or his wedding anniversary. He's missed so much for this challenge. If he had to choose again, he'd skip the challenge. Family is what truly matters. Although he's doing okay here, it feels like being in a prison. If the show didn't require him to talk more on camera, he might become depressed. He can't remember how many fish he's caught, but he's never gone hungry. If he still can't win the prize, he can only blame his lack of willpower. John's current state. Makes me think he might quit any moment. I wonder how long the others can last. He even considers going home. Others are tougher and likely have more food. Fortunately, they can't hear this. Otherwise, we might just gang up and give him a beating since he's the only one enjoying fish and beer daily. He's almost flaunting it. Christian stays up all night to capture the northern lights as a memento. Luckily, there are no bears around, or who'd risk wandering at night? Nature is mesmerizing, and the northern lights have really boosted his mood. If the weather permits, he even wants to sleep outside to enjoy the view. Rune never intended to win the prize when he came here. He simply enjoys being outside, finding joy in nature, even if he gets hungry now and then. But overall, he's pretty content. Taking on the challenge is a big win for him. He'd be fine with leaving now. I wish I'd made more souvenirs. I'll make some to take back when I can. Rune also feels like going home to rest. It's now the 20th day, and the participants' moods aren't great, especially Christian, who hasn't groomed himself in a long time. He looks a bit unkempt and finds it too hard to stay any longer. He misses home and wonders if his child can walk now. He wants to see his child grow up. Making it 20 days is impressive. Most wouldn't last this long. Alan trims his beard daily. Since it will be shown on TV, he needs to look good. He never thought he'd make it 20 days. I initially figured 2 weeks would be my limit. Even now, I still think about heading home and wonder how much longer I can last. I usually just daydream to conserve energy and clear my mind, keeping random thoughts from disrupting my rhythm. Alan wonders how many participants are still in the game. He figures at least half must be gone, otherwise winning would be too tough. Fortunately, the weather's been dry lately, which has helped keep spirits up. Things are bearable for now, and he hopes to stick it out a few more days. Rune called the production team, saying he's had enough and craves a good meal at home. He quickly packed his things. Rune enjoyed the challenge, feeling at ease while building a raft and catching fish successfully. Compared to before, he has made significant progress. With Rune gone, only 3 participants remain. Who do you think will win? Anyway, I doubt Christian will stay much longer. He misses his young child and wants to check on them. Christian will probably leave in the next few days. Then it will be up to Alan and John to see who has the stronger willpower.